BRR is what we use, £70,000 equity out of it.
What percentage profit are you needing to make?
A minimum of 25.
How many properties did you buy last year?
3 last year. We've bought 8 total since your training. We secured 3 properties.
In one go.
40k refurb each.
Plus another 80 that you made, like 100 grand?
Yeah, 50 on each.
Just found off market. How much does it rent out for?
875.
So you got your 40 grand back. Perfect BRR, man.
It was inhabitable.
Mould all in the bedroom.
Because if you're buying a property that's uninhabitable, then you get relief from stamp duty. Welcome to Winners on a Wednesday. We have David and Katie from DK Rental Properties Limited, and you guys have done extremely well over the last year. You've built your portfolio to now 10 houses that you own using the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy. And I wanted to interview you to pick your brains on how you've managed to build such a large portfolio, property millionaires with a baby, in full-time work, and hopefully get some really nice nuggets of how to be a smart, strategic property investor. But first, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us. So we started, we bought our first property not knowing what we was doing. The main idea was to buy it as a retirement funding, a pot for when we get older, just to get some cash flow in. We know nothing about bridging loans or BRR. Basically the whole strategy was just going to buy it and rent it out is what we thought. We did the first one. We realised we really enjoyed it, and we had some other friends in property, and because we really enjoyed it, I sat down with David and I said, look, are we going to take this seriously now? Let's get some training. And he says, yeah, why not? David came across yourself on YouTube. We thought that your videos were brilliant. We learned a lot. We kind of got a bit obsessed that every time we came home from work, we was eating dinner and watching yourself.
Watching me talk about property.
All your videos, we watched them all. Came down to the live events and then got the training. And then we started buying all of our properties.
So what's the kind of formula that you're using? Like where are you buying? How are you finding them? What are you looking for in a good property investment?
Yeah, so BRR is what we use. So we didn't know much when we first bought our first one, but we knew to buy the worst house on the best street.
Yeah.
And that's what we did for the house we lived in. And 3 years later, we managed to pull about £70,000 equity out of it.
Nice.
So that was how we started. And then we basically, our approach is we buy rundown properties. The worse, the stinkier, the better. As we learned on your training. And then obviously we push the value up with a nice refurb. We do pride ourselves on giving nice refurbs. And we like the extra finishing touches, chrome socket. We like a nice refurb. And then obviously we push the value up significantly and then refinance, recycle the money and go again.
So when you're looking at a property then, how do you know, because there's a lot of properties on Rightmove that might be stinking properties, worst houses on best streets that don't stack up. So what sort of formula do you look at when you're looking at a deal now to ensure that this is viable? You've got to have vision. Okay, we can do this to it. We can make it beautiful. We've got the vision. Yeah. But how do you do the viability checks?
So we'll do our research on sold comparables. Yeah. So if we get a property that we're interested in, we'll look at the square footage of it, and then we'll go on within a mile radius within the area what they sell for the same square footage, right. And we can work out what our end value would be.
And that's the first figure you're looking at, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
GDV.
Yeah,
GDV. A lot of people are looking at the asking price. Like, it's on for 200 grand. I wonder what they'll come down to, and I wonder what the refurb might be, and it's like, hang on, no, first figures first. GDV, gross development value. Yeah. So it's the first thing you look at. Yeah. So let's say you and David look at a property. You think, we could make this look amazing. We could put an island kitchen. We could do this. The GDV is going to be 300 grand or X. Then what?
So then we look at the refurbishment, depending on what the house is, the house size, but we'll look at how much the refurbishment will cost. Luckily, Katie owns a kitchen bedroom, bathroom manufacturing business. So we managed to get pretty nice value for money.
Nice discounts there. Staff discount. That's why you've not quit your job yet.
Yes.
Have you quit your job yet?
No, we both still work full time.
Yeah, you're both working full time.
Yeah,
now we know why. You get trade prices.
Yeah, so very good prices on that. So, and obviously the knowledge and expertise of the fitting and everything as well. So yeah, we can save significantly on that, on the refurb, on parts of that. And then that's how we do it.
So end value 300. So first figures GDV, then refurb. Cool. What's the other big cost that you need to make sure is paid for?
Legals, obviously all your fees.
Yep.
And then the purchase price itself.
And the purchase price, yeah.
So you're making, every time you're looking at a deal, once you've worked out those figures, your gross development cost, the end value, you're then making sure that you've got enough profit in the deal yourself.
Yeah.
What percentage profit are you needing to make?
A minimum of 25%.
Why 25%?
Because you need around 25% minimum to get any finance on a deal.
So then that 25% profit is what you're leaving in as the deposit at the end.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice. Great. So talk me through some of these deals then, because you've been on a buying spree last year. How many properties did you buy last year?
3 last year.
What about the year before?
4.
So when we met, you had 2.
Yeah.
And now you've got 10.
Yeah. Two was one, obviously we bought previous to any trading that we didn't know anything about. And obviously our own that we're living in. But yeah, and then we've bought 8 total since your training.
And where are they? And how are you finding these juicy deals?
So we've got some in the Midlands and some in Wales. The ones in Wales we've sourced, just purely because it's easy for us to source them rather than driving all the way to Wales, doing the viewings and everything. We still do all the research if we get sent a deal, but the ones in the Midlands were mainly direct to vendor.
So one in particular, I was walking my dog and I seen a cardboard cutout in a window.
Yeah.
And it said for sale. So it wasn't even through an estate agency or anything. So I've followed the training and it was perfect for what we'd learned. And then so I went to him directly, found his story. I mean, it was quite sad, to be fair. He was only in his 50s and he'd lost his son, and he'd a lovely guy as well. And he basically didn't have the heart to be a landlord anymore, and he wanted rid. So I says, yeah, we're certainly interested in buying the house. And then he actually said, I'm actually selling 2 more on the same street. So he had 3. So we were certainly interested. It was round the corner from where we live. He never said what he wanted. So we offered 75 per property, but then he said he wanted 80 per property. And we thought that was a fair deal. Do you know what I mean? He was a nice guy. We really wanted to work with him.
We know the area well.
Knew the area.
Capital appreciation is very good.
Yeah. So we secured 3 properties just
from one go.
From one go, yeah.
Cardboard
and then
cutout.
I was doing work on one of the sites for the refurb, and there was 2 houses across the road that were next door to each other, and they were empty and they were bugging me. So I just said to Dave, do you know what? I'm going to find out who owns them. I'm going to send them a letter. What have I got to lose? Sent them a letter. Didn't expect anything back. A week later, the lady rang me. Oh, we've had your letter. We're interested in selling. I was like, great. So now we own 5 on one road.
2 sides of the street, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And is that the street you live?
It's
round
in the same village we live in.
And that's in like Derby area?
Derby, yeah.
So 5 properties, all off market.
On the same
within
street.
Basically walking distance from your house.
Yeah.
And you just saw them empty properties.
Yeah.
Just walking the dog, plasterboard in the window, same sale.
So do you think that's the way to go? Do you think the best deals are off market?
I think so. I think a lot of competition with your right moves and on the market, whatnot. Yeah, you can still get deals, certainly. I'm not saying you can't, but yeah, sometimes for us, it might be worth just waiting a little bit longer just to get an off market one. Keep sending letters. Like I say, you've got nothing to lose. You could send 300 letters and you could get 1 winner. Do you know what I mean? So it's just being consistent.
I remember saying on the deep dive, I remember saying, when you on your way home, you're going to be looking at stuff now.
That is so true.
You can't once you've done the training, you can't just drive anywhere without stopping the car constantly. Oh, look at that overgrown property.
Exactly.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at that rundown pub. You know.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And like even ones with like I've got blinds from the 1960s. You can tell from just the outside that garage is really horrible. It's not been painted. It's all flaky. Who lives there? And so you're just constantly thinking. And like I say, when I'm walking my dog, the amount of potential deals I see.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So is that kind of a strategy then now that you do? You just see properties when you're just walking around, driving around, and if they look empty or derelict, you just approach the vendor direct.
Yeah. We keep letters in the glove box as well. So we've pre-wrote.
What does it say? What does the letter say?
It's just a direct vendor letter basically saying we're in the area, we're interested in your property. If you don't even want to sell it now, it doesn't matter, keep this. We put something like hard, keep this in your drawer with your sellotape. And if you need it in 2 years, come and speak to us. You know what I mean? So there's no pressure. And it's just and we put in there, it's just a conversation. There's no obligations or anything, just a conversation to see if you wanted to sell. And then we leave our details.
And if it's empty, I mean, there's a good chance that they will want to sell.
Yeah.
Because who wants to just have an empty property that could potentially have squatters going in there in the winter months? It's getting colder and it might be getting damp. And then they're saving on estate agency fees.
Yeah, mortgage payments.
You'd be surprised how many people actually have property that they don't want until you start asking. We've got someone come up to us, didn't we? They've got a house in Leicester. They're a retired landlord. A nightmare with tenants, struggling to get them out. And they're just like, we've had enough. What can you do? What can you offer me? And we're like, well, you're our dream. You come to us. You're offering us your house.
Yeah.
And saying, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
And on that particular one, we're promised, it's looking promising, but at the end of the week, we're hoping to have scored a lease option on that. Our first lease option, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's near the uni, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that then. What is a lease option and how's that playing out?
So the way we've structured this one, so they have a mortgage payment. So we've agreed to pay their mortgage for 5 years. Then on that, because they are a tired landlord, we've agreed to basically look after all their the maintenance of the property. The only thing that we've not included is the roof and structural, so any subsidence. But any boiler issues, windows, doors, anything maintenance we're looking after. If there's not a tenant there, they don't have to worry about any concern. We're paying for your mortgage fee regardless, so it's on us to get a tenant. We look after all the insurances or the contracts. So for them in particular, they've got no stress, no worries, and they can sit. And then we've agreed a fixed price in 5 years. So if the market's up or down, regardless, we pay that fixed price. But we've obviously done our due diligence in the area, and we're fond of the area, and we know that the growth's good. We've done it. So
how much do you have to put down as a deposit to make it legal?
I think 1,000 is what we've agreed,
right,
for this one.
So you're putting down £1,000, then you're taking over the property,
Yes.
paying the mortgage, which is how much?
535.
And then how much rent would you reckon it'll be?
About 900
We can get about 900 to 1,000.
So then it's not going to change your life.
No, but it's we've got a
few
sale,
£100 a month.
and it's still a couple of £100 to put towards the deposit.
Yeah, and then in
Then we
5
need to
years,
buy it.
even if it's just £200, £300 a month in 5 years, that's going to be enough for the deposit to buy it.
Exactly.
And what's the agreed price in 5 years?
150.
Nice. So you'll probably need about 30 grand, 35 grand deposit, which you'll probably have saved from the rent by then. So nice.
But that's we feel that's below market value as is now, the 150. They're selling for 180.
Yeah.
In the area
At the moment.
Solid.
So 5 years.
Give me a case study then of one of your BRRs.
Yeah, so one that sticks in my mind, it was actually two next door to each other, the ones locally. We tried to get this for over a year. It was real pain. So previously, before we didn't really know much about property before the training, we saw them go on for auction. We never really fulfilled it because we were a bit scared of the auction process. We'd never really learned about it, so it kind of scared us away. But I think they sold for 177, one for 76, something like that. There were two-bed mid-terraces houses in a pretty good area though. Like I say, when we approached direct, Katie approached direct to the seller. We met her on site. We agreed. Basically, her husband owned a big concrete business, and they bought these to do themselves, and they just didn't have the time to do it. So I think she was more get rid of it rather than the husband. But the women always wins, don't they? So they sold it to us. But then throughout that process, like I said, it took a year because they pulled out twice. We had to renegotiate fees. And then very close to the end, when we were nearly secured, we went and did an inspection, and there was a structural beam, and it had been installed incorrectly. So it didn't comply with building regs. And we said we needed the structural report. I think that scared them. And
they knew it wasn't legal.
They knew it wasn't.
They had no regs.
Yeah.
No structural calculations for the steel they'd installed.
And then it spooked them out, and then they said, we're not selling. And we were like, we'd spent thousands on the architectural drawings or the legals.
We was already so far in the game.
Yeah, so a lot of time and effort as well. And then we agreed an extra £1,000 just to secure it. So look, we'll worry about the structural beam. You don't need to worry about it. We'll sort it. We knew we were going to have to take it out, which would be an extra cost to us, but we really didn't want to lose the property. And then finally, she agreed the extra, and then it
was literally the week before, I think.
Yeah,
we just said, look, we were nearly there to complete an exchange.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't want to do it anymore. And I was like,
so annoying.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to make the commercial decision, don't you? Even though I've had this where it's really annoying, but you know what, if I just pay an extra £1,000, even though it's annoying and on principle, I know I shouldn't, but look at the big picture.
Yeah.
Well, we knew it was worth it because we purchased them for 80,500, and then we got the refinanced at 170 per property. Damn. So we knew that we could.
How much you spend on it though, refurbing it?
40.
So you
40.
bought. This is one property, two
next door to each other.
Yeah.
So you bought two next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
80 grand each.
Yeah.
Yeah. 40k refurb each, and then there was both revalued at 170 each.
So let me do the maths quickly on that. So 160 in total for the purchase. Did you buy cash?
Yeah.
It was 80,500 each. We're going to have to agree the extra 500 to get it.
Oh,
right.
extra grand for the...
Yeah,
so just £500.
Yeah,
so 80,500 times 2 is 161. Did you buy it cash or bridge? Or?
Bridging loan.
So how much did you have to put in as the deposit?
It was 30%.
25% of 80, which is what?
You put in 25 or 30%?
25.
25. So you put in about 40 grand.
Yes. Yeah.
So you put in 40 grand. You've now bought these 2 properties.
Yeah.
For 161. Then spent 80 grand on the refurb.
Yeah.
Where did you get the money for that?
We actually got development finance.
Did you?
Yeah.
Although learning curve again.
Learning curve on that one.
We shouldn't have, because I think we weren't 100% familiar with it, and basically we thought we were going to get payments after the 4 segments. So you're going to get 8 grand here after segment 1 when they're inspected. But it didn't work like that, did it?
I don't know if it was we wasn't informed properly or we didn't understand properly, but it worked out that they was only going to give us a percentage of what the property was worth at a certain stage.
Yeah.
So we brought them back to brick. They had no gas supply, no water, no electrics, nothing. They were basically just 4 walls. And then obviously when we got to halfway, even though we'd put the first floor in, the first fix, your gas, your electric and everything, there still wasn't nowhere near the GDV that we needed.
Okay.
So we couldn't actually pull
learning curve
that much cash out
Learning
for
curve.
the development. Luckily, we had the buffer ourselves, and we kept going.
So what's the
with
lesson?
everything.
What's the lesson from that?
Make sure you get the right development.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the reasons why we set up Samuel Leeds Finance.
Yeah.
Because there was bridging finance as well. It can be such a ball ache.
Yeah. It's a
All
lot
the
of paperwork.
forms.
Yeah.
The paperwork. Sometimes they just pull out at the last minute, or they'll say, "Oh, you've not got enough experience." So we set up Samuel Leeds Finance.
Yeah.
For people really like you guys.
Yeah.
That have got these nice little BRRs, and then we can just bang finance easily. I know at the time when you did this, we didn't have Samuel Leeds Finance.
No,
It
moving
didn't
forward
exist.
though, we would 100%
Yeah.
use your
Well,
bank.
I'd work with you as well. So 161 plus another 80 for the refurb. You only put in a small amount. It was a bit of a nightmare, but you did get bridging finance. You got development finance. You put in a bit of your own money. 2 for 1. What was the end value?
170 per
each.
property.
Yeah.
170 each. So that is 340. So you made like 100 grand?
Yeah, 50 on each.
That's brilliant.
For 4 months. Was it worth the work?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did that not make you want to quit your job?
No, it just made us want to get something a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Do more?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're nowhere near ready to start yet, are we?
No, we're just starting.
We're just moving on now.
So when you made that 100 grand, why did you not sell and make the 100 grand
we want the cash flow.
of the
we want
properties?
to keep the asset.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, want the monthly cash flow, which is nice.
How much does it rent out for?
875
Yeah.
per property.
So again, you're making a few £100 a month for each property.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
did you get all your money back on the refinance?
On the refinance, yeah.
So you got your 40 grand back.
Yeah.
And then you paid off the development finance. You paid off the bridging finance.
Yep.
It's perfect BRR, man.
Yeah.
And where were those?
Derby.
Just found off market. I bet you're glad you paid that extra £500 each.
That's
Yeah,
why we
exactly,
knew
yeah.
that we was going to get the good GDV. So
Yeah.
we said, look, we can't lose them now. We've come so far.
Yeah.
Just offer them more money.
We had another across the street as well. Another one of our stories, if you like, is we had a terraced house where there was a family living in it, and it was really neglected. The house was. There was children living in it, and there was mold all in the bedrooms, and
Really.
really poor condition. We knew she wanted to leave anyway because she needs to leave the area for school reasons. So she couldn't get out and get an emergency accommodation until the landlord kicks her out. But it was really difficult. We didn't want to leave. We didn't want to kick her out, and it was really difficult to get her out. So what we did is we offered her £2,000 cash, and then agreed to pay her rent for 6 months,
Wow.
just so she could move to a private accommodation, because we knew that house was, again, it's in our
Good
area.
area again.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to take the hit a little bit up front.
Yeah.
But in the long term, we knew it was.
Did you buy it with the tenant? Or did you?
No.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yes, we
Because we
did,
got
yes,
it at a
yeah,
good
yeah.
price.
So
He
basically,
said, just get
you
rid of
inherited
her,
Yeah.
the
this terrible tenant.
Yeah, we had the problem. That was part
Yeah.
of the...
How much you pay for that house?
80.
And that's in Derby as well.
Darn
Yeah.
it. I'm across the road.
So hold on, let me get the story straight. So you find this house, there's a tenant in there that's not paying rent.
It's just paying very, very little rent.
Yeah, because
Right.
The,
the house was
that
very
bad.
poor.
It was inhabitable.
And the tenant probably wouldn't have left very easily.
No, she knew that she had rights because it was such a bad state that he couldn't get
and I
her
bet that
out.
landlord couldn't get her out easily because he probably hadn't given her the EPs, the electric
no,
certificate.
no
gas
yeah.
certs,
No right to
electric
rent.
certs. Yeah, they had nothing like that. They didn't even have a contract or anything.
Yeah, so she's almost like a squatter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
effectively.
But then if you offer to give her a bit of money, she'll take it.
Yeah, that's what we decided
And
to
that's
do.
what we offered.
How
her.
much
And
did you give her again?
£2,000 cash.
Yeah.
And then we paid her rent for 6 months.
How much was that?
It was about 600.
So you're paying about 3,000. So you're paying about $5,500 all in.
Yeah.
just
yeah.
to get her out.
Just
But
to get her
we've got
out.
to think, if we didn't offer her that, then we'd have to go down the legal.
Oh, yeah, it's
and
not
then
worth it.
your solicitor fees,
Yeah.
your people coming out, issuing.
And you got that house at a bargain because there was a legal tenant in there. Not illegal, but
Yeah.
in terms of he'd done it unlawfully.
Yeah.
So he's selling cheap because it's just I bet he's got this property, it's all mouldy, he's got a tenant in there paying pittance, he knows he can't get her out, he knows he wouldn't win in court because he's not given her the right documents, he's
Yeah,
just thinking,
he
what
knew
a
that.
problem. You come along, offer him
8,000 exactly.
$8,000.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man. And then how much do you spend on it?
Not a lot on that one. Probably only 10.
Yeah, about 10.
So you bought it for 80, you spent 10 on it, plus the 60 you had to pay to get the tenant out.
yeah.
So you're talking about, what, 96 all in?
Yeah.
Stamp duty?
No, because
No.
it's classed as inhabitable.
What about the last two you told me about? Did you pay stamp duty on those?
No,
No,
because they were back to brick.
Did the solicitors try and make you pay stamp duty?
No, I told her.
Yeah.
When I email my solicitor, I say, look, we've bought this. This is the price. We are not paying stamp duty on
Yeah.
this. So I tell her
Yeah.
as soon as I send the
Because
first
they will
email.
try and make you pay, because they'll just, safe option, just pay the stamp
Yeah.
duty. But unless you know your rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
Again,
haven't
this
said
YouTube
that.
video was worth listening to alone for that, because if you're buying a property that's uninhabitable, then you get relief on the stamp
Yeah.
duty. So no stamp duty. Tell the solicitor. So you bought it for 80, you spent 10 on the refurb plus 6 getting the tenant out, so 96.
But that one we got revalued at 160, that one.
Damn.
Like, so we know the area very well, and it is a great area. It's a great area for equity as well,
Yeah.
that area.
So did you get a 75% loan to value on it?
Yes.
So you
Yep.
pulled out how much?
75% of 160.
120.
Yeah.
So you pulled out all your money plus 24 grand tax-free cash in your pocket.
Yeah, and just kept
Banger.
reinvesting.
You guys
It's
like BRR king and
we
queen.
love BRRs, don't we?
Yeah, we're
A
a
lot of
bit-
people are, they're so boring, they don't have much cash flow, but for us it's about the equity.
And you are making thousands of pounds a month.
Yeah, we're making the cash flow is good as well. I mean, it varies. Some obviously, the lowest I think is about 200, and anything less than 200 we won't go near, to be honest. But I mean, we've got one in Wales at 640 for cash flow.
Yeah.
So it really does
After
vary.
everything's been paid,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
So you're getting like a full-time income from
Yeah.
properties, and property millionaires making 100 grand here,
Yeah.
60 grand there, like making these chunks of money.
yeah, it's nearly assets of 2 million, just under 2 million.
Is it?
Right, yeah. So
That's solid. So what would you say is your secret to the vast, and it might not feel fast to you, but it is fast, because that's a couple of years, like going from 1 or 2 properties to 10. What's the secret to the snowball of success?
Work hard.
Yeah.
Time management is the biggest advice I'd give to anyone.
and education.
And education, yeah. Education, time management, because obviously we've got full-time jobs and we've had a baby.
Yeah.
And then the years as well.
Because you were pregnant throughout the beginning
Yes,
of your...
I was. Yeah, I was.
And then had a newborn.
Yeah. So you just got to be good with your times. You got to know when you're working, what your aims are.
I've
What
got a
we-
newfound respect for people that have children.
Yeah.
it's
Let's talk about those 3 things then. So time management,
Yep.
education, and hard work.
Yes.
So time management, you're both working full time.
Yeah.
And you had a newborn.
Yeah.
How are you managing the time to go and stop and drop letters through these windows, and like how are you doing that?
I mean, I have my calendar on my phone, so we've always got tasks to do throughout the
Yeah.
day. So I make sure that they're greened off. Our bedtime's got later and later every
Keep saying-
single night.
It's like, what? It's midnight now. We need to go to bed now. But
Yeah.
you just get caught up with what you're doing. But what we do is once a week, we'll sit down and say our aims for this week are, and then we say Monday night we're doing this, Tuesday night we're doing this, Wednesday night, etc., etc.
So evenings is where you're doing a lot.
Yes,
Evenings,
yeah.
And also, I think as well, it's not just about how much time you have, it's about what you do with the hours.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take much time. If you're habitual about things, like, I see a property, you said you got the letters in your dashboard. Just take them up, bang, quick, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really a big deal. It's nooks and crannies.
Yes.
And then putting the time aside and just doing what needs to be done. What about hard work? So I think it's just about hard work. People say, don't work hard, work smart. I think you got to work both.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
You know, you got to work hard and you got to work smart if you want to get rich.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's a lot of hours, especially, like I say, we're both full-time work, so it's not a break when we finish. We're back on our property business, so it is a lot. It is a lot.
How did you get all the days off work to keep coming to the events and coming to the train? Oh, I see.
Well, that's
loads.
the perks of having your family business.
Okay.
I can make up hours in other areas.
Right.
Or I can just say, look.
But David's locked away in his job.
I'm in a
David-
corporate.
I never see him.
Yeah.
See, I'm in a corporate job, and that's one thing resonated with your training is I'm in a corporate world where everything's got to be politically correct, if you like, whereas yours was no BS. It was straight to the point, and that was quite new and refreshing for me to see that kind of style of learning.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, in the corporate world, it's very, you know what I mean, you've got to be very careful what you say. If you're not performing, you'll tell someone they're not performing, or if you need to do this, you need to do this.
way.
And that's how I learn
We
best
like that.
personally.
Yeah.
We ain't got time for no messing, straight to the point.
How did you justify investing thousands and thousands of pounds in your education when you know you can invest that into property and make it work really hard for you elsewhere?
Because it's the bigger picture. It's where we want to be in the future, and it's not just as everyone says it, and it's the most accurate description. You need to be educated on what you're doing. Like, for example, there's many different investment strategies. You look at your crypto and things like that, which is, for me, they're just so volatile. And I know people make money off crypto, but for me, I was always taught invest in bricks and mortar. You're never going to go wrong if you invest in bricks and mortar. So we made that decision that's where we wanted to go. So when Katie said, do you want to go full in? I agreed, and let's just learn it. And it was the best thing we did, really.
And I guess, you've probably heard me say before that property is the second best investment. I believe the best is yourself.
Definitely, yeah.
Because once you've got the knowledge and you know what to do, I mean, some people just don't understand the BRR process. You know, they would work really hard, save up money, put it into a house, leave it there.
Yeah.
Whereas what you're doing is you're recycling it, pulling it back, and then reinvesting it. And I guess that's the secret to your snowball of momentum.
When you have conversations with people about that, and they just look at you like you're an alien, they just don't understand the concept, because people have been taught pay off your mortgage, and it's difficult to bring people round to your way of thinking. I've found that.
What do you say to people that say that then? If someone says, why are you refinancing? You should be paying down the mortgages. Why are you doing that?
It's very difficult.
Good debt, bad debt.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But
We use that one quite a lot, don't we?
yeah, but some people are so fixated in their ways that they won't change. So, and unfortunately,
Yeah, a lot of people are scared as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of people scared.
But that's because they don't know, because they've not been
don't know.
taught. So if you don't know what you don't know, do you?
But you're only refinancing when you know that the rent is going to be able to more than cover the mortgage payments.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's what I mean with some of our investors. We've said we actually sit down with obviously the deals that we're going through, and we show them the GDV. This is why it's the GDV, because these are the comparables in the area. I mean, we secure all our investments with personal and business guarantees as well. So we wouldn't ever take anyone's money for an investment unless we were 100%, because otherwise, you know what I mean, we've got a 1-year-old, we're going to be paying that out of our own pocket if it doesn't work. So we need to be 100% sure. So that it helps having a bit of a track record. And
100%. And I've said to you, Kate, if I was you, it started with your own savings, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And you put that in, and then you pushed the value up and refinanced it. But like the way to really scale big is to start now partnering with people, collaborating,
definitely.
Yeah.
bigger deals, which I know you're now looking at and doing. Have you got anything exciting in the pipeline?
So we're wanting to get some social housing units this year. We actually should be completing on one today.
Oh,
we're literally
exciting.
waiting for the email to come through saying congratulations, you've now exchanged on
that's
this.
good.
So that was a 3-bed. We're making that a 5-bed social housing. Contracts already agreed with the council.
Oh, well done.
5-year contract
How much
in
you buying it
place on
for?
that one. 80,000. Well, we seem to be buying more for 80,000.
How are you buying everything for 80,000?
80,
We're
yeah, it's 80.
exactly
What is
on
it with
this
you
one.
guys?
And
Yeah,
then,
80.
You won't buy it unless it's 80,000.
Yeah.
How much is the refurb on that house?
well, we're looking about 35, aren't we, on that one?
And then end value?
Well, for a BRR, it's 172. Yeah.
These are brilliant deals that you're finding.
Yeah.
80,000 plus a refurb of, did you say 30?
35.
35. So that's 115.
Yeah.
But then when it's worth 170, you're obviously going to then refinance.
Yeah.
And you're going to pull out 127, all your money and more.
That was if it was a BRR.
But obviously,
this
when you're
is gonna
doing
be
it social
5-bed
housing, it was classed as HMO. So
Yeah.
we
So
get
the
a
cash flow is
commercial
gonna be good for that.
valuation, so we should
Oh,
get
so you
more
might even
on
get
that
a
one.
higher valuation.
Yeah, so we're hoping to get more on that one.
Jeez. Fixed tenants for 5 years.
Yeah. And they do all the maintenance, pay for all the utilities.
Yeah.
It's just hands off.
That's awesome. And how did you find the housing association?
So we sourced that one.
Yeah, we sourced it.
What about management of the builders then? How are you overseeing all the...
So the ones that are in the Midlands or around us, we manage them ones ourselves because I do that within my job. We've done all the centre parks, lodges in the UK, like all the kitchen, bedroom, bathroom furniture. So I'm used to dealing with project managers, lads on site. So I do the ones that are in the UK. The ones that are in Wales, we hire a project manager checks in with us a few times a week. We get videos once a week.
That's good.
And then maybe once a month, once every 2 months, we'll just go down and make sure we're happy with everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. And they've got this lease option as well, so it's all popping off. How's it been working with me and the team? I know you've been working closely with Russell, Ben, my brother.
Yeah.
How's it been?
Really good, yeah. Can't speak highly enough of Ben and Russ.
They're really nice people, very helpful, very genuine.
And you've been working super close with Tony, who was my mentor.
Yes.
He's a legend, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very nice.
That's the thing as well. When people come to the training, it's not just me. It's also the whole community, the whole team.
Yeah.
You've got access to, people like Ben, who's a quantity surveyor, chartered cost manager.
Yeah.
Able to bounce deals off.
Yeah, so
Lovely.
we've been working with Ben to try and look for some land. We've just not found one that actually fits.
We've put lots of offers on, haven't we? We're just waiting for the yes.
So when we do Winners Wednesday Part 2 in a year, you won't just be property millionaires. Or sorry, 2 million. It'll be 10 mil, 20 mil by that time. I have no doubt. What will be your final kind of words of wisdom for people that are wanting to get started in property? Maybe they've got a little bit of money, maybe got 30, 40 grand. They're thinking about buying a buy-to-let, and it's like, no, recycle it and learn and do it properly.
Yeah.
I mean, what would be your best steps?
I think we I don't know that phrase, is it analysis paralysis? But I was because I'm pretty textbook at work, so I need everything to be lined up, all my ducks in a row. So I'm quite reserved, whereas Katie's
I'm the
opposite. Go for it, go for it.
What you got to lose. You don't get.
Yeah, so together we work quite well in that respect.
Yeah.
But I do think you need a bit of both. So you do need to have, you take the ball by the horns and go for it, but make sure you've done your due diligence beforehand, because you don't want to be stumped.
So well into it.
Yeah.
Because I'm go, whereas David's like, well, hold on a minute, Katie, let's just double check this, or stop and smell the roses a minute, and then we'll go.
You need both.
That's why we're a good team.
Well, it's been great working with you guys. I'm really proud of you, and massive congrats on your property millionaire 10 house status, and looking forward to seeing you continue to win.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I really
thank you for having us.
I hope you enjoyed the video, but have you spent one day with me yet at the Property Investors Crash Course? If not, what are you waiting for? Link in bio, tickets are just £1. And if you can't make a physical crash course, we now have a virtual crash course too. I'll see you there.